very long break. We brought with us the drunken master himself. Jotto the Enlightened is with us.
I mean, I might as well be drunk right now, to be honest.
But, take a page out of Holyo's book.
I've been busy, okay, but yeah. Nah, I was super tired playing today.
Yeah, we could tell there were a couple mistakes here and there.
It seems you weren't the only one. There were some very interesting plays throughout this tournament.
I mean, I won't talk about it too much, but like, I think it says something where normally, if anyone, I mean, I know I haven't streamed in ages, but people always used to find it hilarious that I got more annoyed with my opponent's misplays than I did myself. But I'm like, I was actually sleepy enough where I was just like, oh, well, I guess I'm not the only one off the ball right now.
Yep.
Although round 3 was less me being stupid and more me literally misclicking constantly.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, that was bad. Actually,
well, congratulations anyway. You did win.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've won a Masters, actually.
Yeah. Well, Igloo called you an old school favorite in the announcement, so.
Oh, did he? That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very consistent.
This is true.
Like, I think, yeah, I think I've only had one poor Masters showing in like probably about a year and a half. Although that particular Masters, I also remember being like, oh, I qualified. I have no idea what I'm doing because I haven't played the game in 3 months.
Yeah.
So I went into that and I came out and was like, oh, I got 2 points. That's a surprise. So I don't really count that one. But nah, it was okay to play in. A lot of people playing pony decks, but I think a lot of people don't understand the matchups with that. So I knew people would play it. That's why the last 2 Masters I played exactly the same lineup. I think they might be exactly the same lists actually.
Okay.
But thing was, last month a few people were playing it because everyone was ignoring it until I ended up 150 points ahead of second, and then everyone was like, "Oh, okay, maybe we should pay attention to this deck." But last Masters, I ended up playing the same lineup, and I pretty much lost on Shrine Screw. So I basically only lost games to missing Order Shrines multiple turns in a row. So I thought, okay, nothing actually went wrong, and more people are playing ponies this time, and ponies has 2 bad matchups, unless you're specifically targeting it with weird stuff.
Devour.
Actually, the Devourer was funny, but it wasn't actually that damaging. What I'm talking about was Ruination.
I only had 1.
Yeah, that was like, I saw that and I wasn't even mad. That was like, what, really?
Who plays that card?
But yeah, so besides that, it's pretty much mono red aggro is the worst matchup in the game for it. It's horrific. Yep. And elves can be rough, depending on the exact version. If you've got Spore Shepherds, it can be really brutal.
So the 2 decks you were playing.
Yeah, and I also play a ponies list that has an unreasonable amount of artifacts in it. Like 4 chalices, 3 vats, 4 helms. So when it comes down to it, I'm also slightly favored in all the mirrors. Not by much, but enough. I also know the deck better than anyone else, so...
Yeah, you didn't make it, right?
Well, I made it, but it's also something where the deck is actually quite old.
Okay. I
just kept coming back to it. Like, I've made versions of this in the past that kind of worked, and then didn't, and then kind of worked again. So it's not just this version I know better, it's the entire strategy, because I spent quite literally months with it. So if I'm in a mirror, I just kind of account for the fact that I probably know the deck better than anyone else, at least currently. It might change in future, but for now, so I'm fine doing the mirrors. And I know that the other 2 decks are horrific for ponies, and I'm pretty sure most people haven't figured that out yet, well, until now. So that's why I played my current lineup, even though I've been playing soldiers all week.
Hey, Fuzz, could you turn up the volume a little bit? I guess people are having trouble hearing.
On what? You guys are already really, really loud to me.
I think no on OBS. Can you turn out the output volume? Not to you. To the fans out there.
I mean, it's already, I think, at max.
Oh, okay.
That's annoying. I can probably turn up my microphone actually.
Because I mean, it's never been. Every time I listen to like my own videos, they're always very loud. So I never understood why people thought it was quiet.
Yeah, I don't know. We just get that a lot. Yeah, DeWall's saying it too. I don't know.
What about
Man.
that?
Or are just my settings high and people's settings are low? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
Because
I just turned my microphone up.
I can hear both of you fine, but I don't think the viewers can. So I think it's an output problem.
It's probably an output, but my microphone was a bit down on settings, so I just turned it up. So that might.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting time to play in the game right now. But like, there's a couple. I mean, okay. First off, I just want to say I think Chalice is getting axed at some point.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it did.
Like, I think Chalice should have been axed a long time ago, and I do like how the irony of this is I hated the card for most of its existence, and now I'm making other people despise it.
Hey,
But like,
that's how you do it, man.
Need him, join him.
it's really busted because I know Amethyst Scarab is probably the reason that deck is too good right now.
Yeah.
But
That's like a word of power.
Chalice is gonna break something at some point.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Amethyst Scarab is the reason that deck is too good right now. I'll be honest. I think
would
it's.
you nerf
I think it's the
Amethyst,
Scarab.
or would you nerf Chalice?
Go for Chalice. I'd say.
Personally, both.
Okay.
Like, I don't think a deck with a 90% win rate against everything apart from stuff specifically designed to kill it, and one deck is particularly. Like, people have adapted a bit, but it's still probably the best deck in the game.
Yeah.
How do you do against demons? Because I don't think we ever got to see that matchup. Nobody brought demons.
Hilariously lopsided to Yitix. It's actually not close. It's probably the easiest matchup in the game. Because the thing is, they play Portal, but the Dominion hero power removal actually out-tempos Portal.
Okay.
So they just start playing Bedevileds, and then you just go.
Oh no, you don't play Bedevileds
Crown-
anymore. You
Crown,
play
Assassin.
crabs. Like,
Yeah, but that doesn't work either, because you've got Helms, you've got Ramp Cataclysm that doesn't lose you on board, you've got the Assassin hero power, and then at some point you just build board, wait for them to almost kill them, and then just attack and kata and you win. That's pretty much how every single one's gone. It's actually so bad that every time I played against demons, I played a control deck, which meant when I was playing against Vidal earlier, I actually didn't know that you need 3 levels, which means I missed lethal on the last turn. Because when I watched it back and heard, I think it was you, Fuzz, that said, oh, he needs the 3rd level, and I was like, what on earth is he talking about? And then I go to the card and I'm like, wait, that's how it works?
Yeah, Fuzz and I were talking about that. Read the card.
Yeah, I read it, like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've read it. I have never played aggro decks against it, and when I was playing with that hero, it was always with the other corruption hero. So I already had 3 levels, so I didn't even know.
Sure. That makes
But yeah, whole in-game knowledge there.
sense.
Wait, are you talking
What
about
do you mean
holy
about-
demons or red demons? Because I was referring to red demons, which I know I didn't see anybody bring. Because holy
Red
demons are a
Demons is
lot worse.
Probably. Yeah, Holy Demons is... Okay, Holy Demons can't beat Dominion focus decks. You basically have to get... You don't even have to get lucky on the demon side. You basically hope the other guy just draws the worst he possibly can. But Red, I don't know. I haven't seen many people playing it.
I think I may be the only
wouldn't
one.
know.
I think so.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I haven't played against Red Demons, although I can't really think of a reason why it'd be bad. It might be a bit less consistent. I don't know. I'd have to look in.
Well, because they bring fireballs and crabs to the party instead of like the crappy order cards, which aren't very good against like a control deck.
Yeah, it's probably better. Like, having the burn is really useful.
Yeah, and you also can use the transforming hero to transform this like basic Niana for Swift or something. finish off with like a big crab turn or something.
Oh, that's true. I also, and because of the weird lineup I was playing, I did ban a lot of corruption decks, so it's possible I just dodged them.
Yeah.
We didn't see any. No, we only saw one person with holy demons.
Yeah. And that one's extremely obvious. It might as well have a sign in front of it saying, because it's one of the only decks that plays that as the hero instead of playing the other Amon and using it as a lost.
Yeah.
But no, that's interesting. We'll have to see. But I think right now there's probably, like, I think Yitik's probably, well, maybe not Yitik's the hero, but like the deck. The mono Dominion splashing one card probably needs to be tweaked a bit, and also like I think Symbol of Growth is probably too good. But besides that, I don't know. Maybe red has a bit too much burn. Like it says something when you can play a red deck, and if you get a tempo advantage, you actually just go face because it doesn't matter if they stabilize. You've got so much burn.
Yeah, we took away Dragonfire, gave back Symbol of Fury.
I think Symbol's actually better than Dragonfire was.
No.
Oh yeah, because it's very efficient at board controlling.
No.
Yeah, because Dragonfire was it was like Flame Serpent's additional, basically.
Yeah.
But Symbol is like, oh, I don't need Fire Blast anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and Symbol has been like in every nature deck ever, basically.
Symbol of Growth is kind of crazy. I think it's the mix of a buff with Unstoppable that makes it insane. Like the Artifact Destruction is pretty good. The Shooting Sprout thing is pretty good, but I think maybe it buffs a bit too hard. I don't know. Like, I think it currently it's basically a burn spell that also has utility.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, you're comparing it to Overcharger, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If nature had Overcharger. Like Overcharger is brutal, but it was always been a little balanced out by the Dominion creatures having some serious limitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, give that to Rage, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Or Order even. Try playing against Soldiers that has an Overcharger in their own color.
No way.
Yeah, Overcharger is actually that's a very good example of like. Yes, you can play two colors, but the point is you can't really play more than two, which means that color identity does matter a lot. I mean, okay, we saw what happened when it became too easy to get multiple colors, which was the Trigon Fiesta.
Good times.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's a couple fundamental things with Spellweaver. One is colors beyond two is hard. And when they're not, then the game kind of breaks in half.
Yep.
And I mean, the other one is basically a control over how much burn there is, because if there isn't enough, control decks become basically unkillable, and if there's too much, good luck.
And is this because of the life gain? Because of how much life they can gain?
Well, kind of, but like, I mean, think about it. When we've had massive amounts of burn in the past, everyone just starts playing absurd life gain decks.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it becomes less of a board control game and more of a, okay, so he discards burn spell, I discard healing spell. But yeah, so right now I think there's probably a little too much burn, but there's also, like, then you've got the elephant in the room, which is the Yitik's deck, which has 3 different ways of winning the game, and pretty much no deck can beat the combination of them, which means you basically just have to like the amount of games you play with that deck where you get to 40 life, also have lethal on board and about 20 extra mana is just ridiculous.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be shocked if that gets tweaked a bit, and then maybe Symbol gets a little tweak, maybe something in Rage, I don't know what though, and then go from there, because I think the actual game is reasonable right now. There's just 1 or 2 slightly too high. Also, Soluxio is annoying, but I'm not convinced it's too good.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
He's all right.
What do you say we take a look at the new cards?
All right, because I know
Sounds
chat is starting to get pissy about it. So
Yeah.
all right. So as we said, we've got 2 cards. They're both multicolored, and
Nice.
we introduced a new mechanic called Invoke, and cards that have Invoke will come into play as a spell. They'll have some effect, and then there'll be a condition where you can transform that into an actual creature. So let's start with this spicy young lady, the Angel of Retribution. So yeah, flying
It's not a
lifebound.
fairy.
Yeah, no. Actually, yeah, we actually thought it was a fairy because it looked like one. This does not look like an angel, by the way. But whatever.
She's a dark angel.
It's slightly angelic. I mean, it doesn't have any nature traits.
Anyway, so when she enters the field, deals 2 damage. Now, because it has lifebound, you will gain the 2 life even though it's not a creature. So you could think of it at first, it's a spell that deals 2 damage and restores 2 life. And then the condition for this one is, at the start of your turn, if you have 10 life or less, it then becomes a creature and presumably is able to immediately attack, because just like lamps, for instance, don't get summoning sickness, and angelic temples don't get summoning sickness, this also shouldn't get summoning sickness. So you'd be able to immediately attack with it as soon as it activates, and it's just a... Yeah, so this is the card I was talking about when I said Berk Priest might use it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna love it. Gives you a lot of heal that takes away from The comments are great. Oh my god.
Victoria's Secret model. Yeah. Like legit. Like this is some stylish accessory she's wearing. And not actual wings.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. Yep, so it's an uncommon, at least for now. And yeah. Any thoughts, Jotto?
This is weird to me because, like, okay, first off, let's get the angel spiel out the way. I guess there's a 3rd deck now because, like, it's like Soluxio, this, and another one that doesn't really exist because we don't talk. But, like, red does give you other stuff. This is also a removal spell that you can get off Advanced Alexa, which I think is absolutely hilarious. That feels like breaking a rule of Spellweaver for some reason. I don't know why, but so it's actually really, really good against aggro. Like an insane.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you kill a thing, gain life, and then if they keep hitting you, you gain an.
Oh, by the way, this should be mentioned. This will not work with Triangelica until it is a creature. So you can't just play 3 of these and like, oh, Triangelica, I win.
Is there an easy way to damage yourself?
Berk.
Very easy.
Tainted cards, I guess.
You can fireball yourself.
No, only the Fuzz does this.
Wait, are we gonna start seeing like Merchant of Soul?
I hope so.
Like,
oh, Burning Rage, yes.
Yeah. Oh god, Burning Rage. That's an interesting. Wait, does this work at Burning Rage?
I don't think so. It has to be like an action spell, right?
Does it? Let me check. Oh yeah, it must be. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, there's like Burning Rage. There's Tainted from Merchant. Wait, so Merchant. I'm trying to think. Is that worth it? Because Merchant's like a running joke. So I'm not sure.
Wait, I thought it got buffed. It never got buffed? There were a bunch of versions of it running around that were supposed to pick one, and they never got buffed.
I want to say it did, but I don't. I can't remember. I'm not a Spellweaver historian on Merchant of.
I don't recall.
But yeah, I don't recall. But yeah, so this is weird to me because basically, if you're against the mid range, it might be good against mid range. If you're against control deck, it does absolutely nothing, which is annoying. But
yeah,
like it's just a burn spell. Like this is something interesting to me because you could play a like red soldiers deck that uses this as a burn spell. It's worse than Fireball, but it would make the aggro matchups a lot better. Because I'm not really sure how you beat this card in an aggro mirror. I mean, it's a pseudo Fireball that also wins races pretty much on.
Well, it would present the same challenge as an Angelic Temple, where it just kills creatures and gives you life.
Yeah, exactly. And also flying. I mean, it also has that weird hasted thing, and it has Lifebound as a creature as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, in an aggro mirror, what are they going to do? Fireball it? Oh, congratulations! You just used even more burn.
Yeah. No, Maxim, she does heal. When you play it for the first time, the Lifebound still triggers, even though Ifko told me this personally. So yeah, you can play it, gain the 2 life immediately when you just hit the face with it or whatever. But are we going like way out of the way just to make this work? I mean, the idea of improving aggro matchups, that makes sense to me. But otherwise, I think we're trying to do too much work just to activate her.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, again, if it's an aggro mirror, it'll work. If it isn't, it won't. Which is why I think it'll probably end up being a secondary burn spell in an Order Rage deck most of the time. Or if there's some Rage Angels deck, which I never thought I'd say, if there's some Rage Angels deck, then hilariously you can tutor for a removal spell with Advanced Alexa, which is just funny.
Dwar, to answer your question, you can play it at any time.
Yeah, it just comes on the field one at a time.
Now
you have 10 or less life.
It's a spell, so presumably it can be killed by like a unicorn when she's a spell.
Yeah, you can do spell removal on it.
Hilariously, this is actually really bad if you're on low life, because you play a removal spell and then it sits there and then they attack and kill.
Yeah, they could just do the 10 damage instantly.
Yeah, so it's more of a like an earlier game thing that makes aggro's life really hard once you've already played it, which is quirky, but I don't know. I'd have to play with it, to be honest. It's a weird card. It's kind of hard to evaluate.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at the second card, which is a bit more exciting than this, I'd say.
Boom.
Say hello to Cataclysm 2.0.
Boomstick. Dragon Ball.
So Dragon Assault, pay up to 4 life, and then it deals that much damage to everything that isn't a dragon, and then plus 2 more for any dragons you control. This second part, by the way, doesn't even need to exist, but just for kicks. So you're wondering, okay, how many dragons are in the game? I already did that. There's exactly 3.
3.
Alabastard, Red Dragon, and card that I've been calling him Alabastard this whole time, by the way. And nobody seems to have caught on.
Alright, we got it this time.
And of course, card the Deadly Flame. So yeah, so basically it's a 2 mana possibly clear the board, basically, except your dragons. But
if you read the flavor text, it basically says elves are for lunch.
Yep.
Soldiers for breakfast, elves for lunch.
So, okay, so obviously, so it's Rage and Corruption, so that limits it a little bit in what could play it. Like, I'm not convinced Red Demons would play it, because they don't really need a board to clear. They have Crab, basically, which is a board to clear. They're not, so I wonder, can you pay 4 life if you are Amun the Immortal? Or whatever, the Overlord, the one that becomes a creature. I guess you can't, because you don't have life?
I'm pretty sure you can't, because I don't think you can play tainted cards when you're I think the game treats it as a resource. So if your hero is currently a creature, you just can't pay.
I guess that makes sense. So are we gonna see more dragons? Are there gonna be some crazy dragon synergy? Maybe.
I mean, this might make Carr usable, because Carr is not actually that bad. He's just not quite good.
Yeah. Well, because the secondary effect is like... What? Why is it free?
I mean,
you
2
can't
mana...
lose life
yeah,
unless it's due to damage.
Yeah. Okay.
And how do you?
But
pay?
no, you're not.
Wait.
You're not. That's not
How
damage.
does that work?
You're not. No, that is not
My brain
losing
is
life.
hurting right now.
That is not losing life. That doesn't count.
Yeah, it's paying life.
Yeah, that's
Right.
different. I mean,
Wait,
that's how it should
what's
be.
the wording on
You-
just
You can only lose life due to damage, I think. Hang on, let me check. But I'm pretty sure it won't work with Mastery. Like, you're not going to be able to cheat.
Swarming Spider says pay 2 life, and that is blocked.
You can't lose life unless it is due to damage. Wait.
And you can still select that, which means the game says if you pay, but then the other card just keeps your life total the same. So that would work.
That's
Because
weird.
it's worded the same way as Spider.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Free.
Spider probably should be worded differently, but we're not going to get into that right now. Alright, so I guess it
mean-
does work, but is that really worth it? Like, you're going to run Mastery just so you don't have to pay life? I mean, if you're a control deck...
Maybe.
Hang on, so I don't think so, as it's not a creature type? What?
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 That's what Duel says. It's a spell only.
Oh, instill life. Won't.
Oh,
it's
no.
a spell.
Oh, they're talking about the angel?
Yeah.
No,
It-
you won't be able to
It's
instill
an
that.
angel spell.
Yeah, it's not a
That's
creature.
like you can't instill a temple once it's died because it's an
Right.
artifact.
That's a good. Way
Oh,
of
can you
thinking about
imagine if you could? What a bunch of bullshit
Oh,
that would be.
no.
I'd be so excited.
it. I mean,
Might just-
reanimate lamp if we're going down that rabbit hole.
No. All right, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
But what is it with like rage and corruption blowing themselves up and the nearby country?
I think it's just a flavor thing.
Like, there's a lot of self harm in these days.
Well, the whole like rage thing is that they don't mind if they hurt themselves if they win, right?
But do they?
Yeah,
What do they? What other cards really do that to you?
Well,
I mean, tainted, I
corruption
guess.
corruption is the one that nukes itself. I think my favorite example of that is zombies, where you can go down to like 5 life and your opponent never dealt any damage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can pretty much kill yourself.
Duke value.
Just stuff like that. But I mean, this is really good. Although, if it forced you to pay 4, it would not actually be that good. But the fact that you can pay up to 4 is really, really strong.
Yeah, you could just pay
Yeah.
2 to clear like a board of elves or something. And if you do
Yeah.
happen to have a dragon on the board, maybe you just pay 0. Because you do 2 damage
Yeah,
extra.
you could do that too.
But
Yeah.
there are so few dragons, then, I mean, realistically, if you have a red dragon on the board, like, you're spending your mana on other things.
Isn't there something where if you don't do damage, you can't do additional damage in the game? Am I remembering that correctly?
What?
It was?
That sounds like a Pokemon thing.
Someone was arguing about this the other day. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah. Random comment, by the way, with this. If you're playing Passageway, it's a way of killing Phoenix without screwing yourself. So that you can kill off your own Phoenix so it doesn't shuffle back into your deck.
Oh, yeah, that works. Or you could just
Yeah.
igloo it.
Yeah, but it's another way of doing it. But no, this is actually a really strong card. Although weirdly enough, like we've just had the Demon Scarab, but the difference between 2 and 3 is actually quite.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the demon guy dealt 3, it would be redonkulous.
Also, this card single-handedly beats Blue Soldiers. I just want to say that.
Yay!
Well, I mean,
It actually wipes out the deck on its own. It's kind of insane.
It's a cataclysm for 2 mana, almost. So yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
This is gonna destroy all sorts of rush decks. Maximus,
Yeah.
are you hearing this?
Your reckoning has come.
Like it's a cataclysm that works against every aggro deck that isn't. Because if you play this against Rage, the red player is like, oh, okay. Bird.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping if you're running this in your deck, you have some kind of healing.
I mean, you do, but probably not gonna have time to play it. But against stuff like elves, it's quite good. It's also worth noting that Harpy and Succubus having 3 life It's quite important because a lot of aggro cards. Also, with Word of Pain, you can go Word of Pain and then this, and that'll kill 3 HP stuff as well without killing it.
Yeah.
The real question is this versus Suffocate, to be honest. Because
Well,
I think
this is significantly more efficient. If you don't
Yeah,
mind the life loss.
yeah. You do have to play another color for it, though.
Yeah, true.
What about Shamans? Would Shamans run this card?
I mean,
They could.
probably.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like-
nasty.
Yeah, that's actually kind of insane with Shamans.
Oh yeah.
I also
maybe.
like the idea with Car. It's like, I'm going to lose life, but you can't gain life. But yeah, it's actually quite... I think this is quite strong. The question is there going to be a Rage Corruption kind of control deck that wants this? Because you get Fireball, you don't need Fire Blast anymore.
Oh, no.
Probably don't need the word. Because, like, it depends on your plan. Because I think if you're playing Rage, you want to use more than just one card. Because there are downsides to going a non-corruption level. Notably, Consume and Word of Pain get weaker.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't... Do you even bother with Consume in a control deck like that? You just probably don't.
I mean, you do Mono C, but that Mono C is strange. It's like a control deck that also plays like a mid-range deck sometimes. I mean, it depends on whether you're not using Tombs. If you're using Tombs as your win condition, Consume is still insane. But if you're not, I mean, actually, there's an argument for a base Rage deck that plays a Splashing Corruption that uses, or like an Azurhis deck.
That'd be fun.
That's actually kind of crazy because you've got Nightmare Crab, you've got Azurhis, you've got Advanced Zash, and this. It's like a no creatures allowed.
It's a dead zone.
Yeah.
I think the bottom line we're getting at is this card is going to see play in some way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it will. It definitely depends on the metagame, although if you like blue soldiers, I would recommend you get your fun out of it.
Absolutely.
But really, any like board swarm deck that doesn't have burn is just screwed by this.
Because, like,
What if we get a black and red dragon too, or a black dragon?
that'd be good. Also, Crab has just got a lot better.
Oh, because it has a nice partner in crime now.
I mean, it does, but it's also like you play Crab and you don't care about board fight.
Yeah.
Like, Crab's interesting. I'm kind of 50-50 on Crab decks right now because most of the Crab decks are pretty good, and then you realize that there's other decks that don't really care if you're being cute right now.
Yep.
But if the metagame changes and maybe one or two other things get taken down a notch, I think, like, if Dragon Assault is everywhere, which it might be, I think the Crab, and also because you still got that instant that summons another Crab, so you can get a lot of Crabs, and if you do that, then you don't really care about board wipes much, which means we may end up with Hate Bears making a larger.
Well, so Hate Bears are gonna splash red then for this?
No, but it's like this kills a lot of decks that cause Hate Bears issues, notably Soluxio. Like, Hate Bears has always had issues with Soluxio because it's very awkward to kill. But this card pretty much neuters Order Wisdom decks. So if less people are playing them, then Plague Crab decks are probably going to be better because one of their worst matchups is effectively out of. Which is going to be interesting because if we get a shift like that, especially in Conquest where you've got a ban, it's going to lead to some interesting mind games, especially given that Corruption has so many different heroes they can play.
Yeah,
And
6.
some of them, some of them are more conducive to splashing than others. Like if your opponent plays Enoch and there's red Corruption, Crab decks, zombies, and like basic demons and things, it's basically a lottery. I mean, some of them are red flags like Advanced Nepharos, but if you're playing Aim on the Immortal, you pretty much give no information as to what you're playing.
Yeah, because you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, which is a pretty lethal weapon in Conquest specifically. So I think corruption in general will probably get better with this, just because it's even if there isn't a crazy good deck, not because of this card, but because the rest of the deck just isn't quite good enough. The sheer fact that it might be good enough to be worth considering will make the rest of corruption better, because it gives whoever you're playing against even less information. Because corruption is already kind of the color where you play against it, and then it's like, okay, which of the 17 different decks are they playing? So yeah, a lot of people ban corruption in Conquest for that reason. They just don't want to play against it because they've got no idea what it's.
Seems reasonable.
But no, I like this card. It'd be nice if there was next dragon, because my first thought when I saw this was, wait, how many dragons are there?
Not many.
Yeah, not at all.
No, good card.
For sure.
Oh, Dragon Reanimator would be sick.
But I mean, you don't even have to have dragons in your deck for this to be good. Realistically, it's just a nice bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's probably worth playing Car, because then you can do crazy things where you can nuke the board for 6, which just kills everything, or you can do 4 for only 2.
I mean, 6 is a bit excessive.
Yeah. I mean, that Dread Knight. Actually, no, a more likely one would be Zombie Hydra, which I have managed to get into top 10 ranked before. I never thought I'd say. Maybe I should resurrect the Zombie Hydra deck.
Is it with Hartsford?
Yes, it was. It was Hydra's Airship and Zombie Giant, where you just keep zombies and then you rest it with Hearts. Which, given what I just said about the way corruption works right now, might actually be hilarious, because you play that and then your opponent's like, oh, it's Reanimator, and they're like, wait, no, that's not one threat. That's
Wait, so you can play Amon the Lord of Corruption, so you can use blue but still have all corruption levels. So Hartsford summons like 4 creatures, like four Hydras or something.
Yeah, you can. Actually, when Lord of Corruption was in testing, he didn't have life loss, and he was absurdly broken. It's amazing what 2 life will do, but yeah, you could play a mono corruption deck that used the hero power to put in the blue tainted card.
Oh yeah.
Which basically had no drawback, and it was just ridiculous. You basically were playing mono C with 4/4s that drew 3 cards. So you had endless card draw, which is the reason why that guy loses you life. Just so people know. Yeah, it's amazing what a little change will do. But
well, yeah, just look at Dr. Styx. That's what happened to Styx too.
Yeah, the life loss is probably what neutral sticks the most. The one attack was like, but the life loss is bigger than people. But no, I think both these cards are actually quite interesting. Dragon Assault will make more of an impact, but what I am curious about is if we get more
dragons, perhaps. But we don't even need to. What I want to see is how many more multicolor cards are we gonna get? Are we gonna get some new combinations? Like to see like Nature Rage. I like to see certainly like more than just the Chimera looking thing.
Yeah.
Forgot what it was called.
Yeah, I actually need to check that. I've made a couple decks entirely based around that thing. It's better than you'd think, but not.
Chimera of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had blue and red. What else haven't we had?
Blue and red would be interesting.
Had quite a few.
Blue and black we haven't had. Blue and purple. Yeah, I guess. Oh no, we have Aranel.
Oh, we have blue and purple, right? It's that guy, that vampire dude.
Yeah, the vampire in blood. I'm actually after the crazy play earlier with tokens to embody, I'm actually debating making a Devourer deck that uses spirit tokens and just makes 6/6.
Nice.
Because that's kind of terrifying. Funny thing, when that happened, I actually looked away for a second, and then I looked back and I was like, wait, how do you get chalices under that? Because every single time I've ever had Devourer played against me, it's always been on 2, not on 1.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? And then looked under it. I was like, wait, there's 2 chalices. Where's the spirit? And this shows how tired I was today. It took me a good 20 seconds to figure out that the 1/1 is a spirit. Like, jeez. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a bit of a long couple weeks for me because it's that time of the year. It's like it's basically study season for me. So
blech.
yeah. So it's my brain's a little fried. Which is one of the other reasons I didn't switch decks this time around, because I had to rely a lot more on my I would say muscle memory, but it's more kind of recognition as opposed to having to think things through.
Yep.
Because I think if I was playing a deck I wasn't too experienced with, I probably would have even played worse than I did.
Fair enough.
Nah. There's a couple of interesting things coming out. But anyway, I've rambled on long.
Yep, this was a good talk. Sorry about the new cards. I'm sure we'll be getting more spoilers soon. And we have our Christmas event, holiday event, coming up at the end of the month. So you get tokens from that when you spend gold and crystals, and you get entered into a drawing for a full play set of cards. So look forward to that. And got anything else to say, guys?
Let's see if we can look over the chats. No, mostly just memes from the britches, so nothing exciting.
Jotto the autopilot. I mean, I do play quite quickly, so I guess I am an autopilot most of the time.
Well, I mean, some decks like Rage Rush tend to just be that way.
Yeah.
Just play 2 1-drops and then remove everything they play and go face.
Yeah, sometimes it's the deck building that matters more than the actual playing. Yeah, that's definitely true for some deck. Whatever. But nah, this was fun.
It always is.
Yes, sir. All right, draft time. I will see you guys next time.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye-bye.